Hello there. This is Baeta, Superintendent of Norton Public Schools, with a few messages for our families. As you know, school closed on the 13th of March, and as of this week, we have been undergoing remote learning, which is different from educational experiences of the prior 2.5 weeks. I wanted to provide some input for those families who may be watching us on the local cable access, and thank you to Norton Media for this, so that you can have some of the latest information. So a few of the items I'm going to just be reading off of our actual remote learning plan that we've provided. On behalf of the Norton School Committee, the Norton Administrators, and the Norton Teachers Association, we're pleased to put together this remote learning plan for all students during this closure. As a community of professional educators and lifelong learners, we have never faced this type of situation, and we're appreciative of your support as we work to try to make sure that our students are learning. While we recognize that we can never replicate the quality of teaching and learning that takes place in our classrooms each day, our commitment during these difficult days is to provide a sense of equity, mastery, and creativity in all that we do. As we commit to every student a meaningful learning experience, we understand that the education provided is not typical and that every student learns differently. We have also focused on mastery learning by providing a deeper dive into content and topics that have been completed, as well as an introduction to new standards that we believe are essential to the next level. As important, we will have our highly trained and qualified staff collaborate and provide for creative and authentic learning that goes beyond the traditional classroom setting. Our NPS remote learning plan is available online and has been made available to all families via email and communication. The district is also proud of our Portrait of a Graduate that we started 18 months ago. Interesting that this is the perfect time to make sure we're doing this. Our Portrait of a Graduate, which had input from families, staff, students, and administrators, has six competencies of personal responsibility and accountability, social and cross-cultural skills, creativity and innovation, critical thinking and problem solving, flexibility and adaptability, and information communication and technology literacy. What a time for us to make sure that we're being flexible, adaptive, creative, and responsible. Lastly, no one could have imagined that we would be in this pandemic. However, we have our collective commitment to you and your children to make sure that we are as fluid and flexible and responsive as we can. That introductory letter was signed off by Kathleen Stern, Norton School Committee member and Chair, Shannon Taylor, the President of the Norton Teachers Association, and myself, Superintendent of Schools. I wanted to talk a little bit more about remote learning. As a district, we have long promoted the importance of social emotional learning as a core component of our mission, along with supporting the needs of the whole child. During this time of extended school closure, we believe that it's essential for our students to remain connected to their school and their classmates as much as we can. Remote learning in Norton has been designed to encourage a balance of teacher-directed and student-directed learning that will provide students with an opportunity to reinforce and deepen their mastery of standards and content. When planning for remote learning, we have asked our Norton teachers and staff to consider equity, mastery, and creativity for all students. Equity speaks to the importance of all teachers designing lessons and activities that all students will be able to access and participate in. Regardless of their role, our educators will be providing support to all of our students through their planning and office hours. In mastery, we acknowledge that there will be some content that they may not be covered during this time, but instead, we have asked for deeper learning experiences that can engage students and allow them the opportunity to apply their understanding. Creativity gives teachers permission to use their skills and passion to make learning meaningful and to engage their students' interests. We are not confined by mandates and testing at this time, and we hope they will take full advantage. Remote learning is not intended to replicate the teaching and learning that takes place within our classrooms each day. The dynamics that occur between teachers and students cannot be recreated in a limited format, nor can we expect parents to take the role of their child's teachers. As educators, we often look to our students about having a growth mindset, or the belief that one can enhance their intelligence and talents with hard work and perseverance. We challenge them to use the word "yet" in their statements. Our transition to remote learning is the most powerful demonstration that we can provide to our children of these qualities. Their teachers, parents, friends, and themselves are all learning together and supporting each other through this process. We thank you for your support and understanding. As of this Monday, the 6th, we began remote learning in the Norton Public Schools. It is not perfect at all. During each week, students will be expected to be engaged in learning assignments from their teachers for approximately half of a regular school day. All students will be responsible for completing work assigned, submitted to their teachers as directed. And in pre-K to 8, students will not be graded traditionally as they have been, either standards-based or numerical and letters, but instead given credit for completion, which includes completing the work, self-assessing, and teacher-specific feedback as needed. At the high school level, students will be graded on a modified ranking system that is still being determined and actually has reached my desk as of today for approval. I plan to approve that model and have it shipped or have it communicated to all families. Families can find student assignments by visiting the MPS Learning website. In grades K to 2, students are not online. In grades 3 to 12, students have that availability. Thank you so much to our school choice program, which has allowed for over $600,000 worth of one-to-one Chromebooks for all students in grades 3 through 12. We understand that each family has unique challenges during this time. And as the weeks go on, health and safety concerns may compete with the remote learning that your child is expected to complete. Please do not hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher, principal, or directly to my office to get information about those challenges or supports that you may want. Over the last few weeks, our NPS staff has been working remotely to design learning opportunities for all students. As we enter this period of remote learning, we want you to know that our teachers and staff are here for you and your children. We have preparing resource and materials, assignments to be posted at least weekly, daily hostings of morning and afternoon office hours as posted by each teacher, communicating regularly with students to maintain relationships, collaborating and planning among staff to ensure that all public students are being reached. We are also doing individual remote learning plans via our special education staff, counselors, and therapists who are collaborating to develop these individual remote learning plans for students. These plans will provide families with information regarding staff office hours, virtual classroom meetings, as well as a schedule for when staff will be in direct contact with families to check in, support the building schedules for home, help with activities, etc. Special education staff at all levels will be providing office hours as well via email and virtual meetings. During these office hours, families and students will have the ability to reach out to ask questions, gain clarification on assigned activities, or request strategies to support the learning. The district recognizes that there are several IEP meetings that need to be scheduled or were canceled due to the school closure. The team chair people will be in touch with those families who have meetings that are due to coordinate scheduling virtual meetings. If families are unable to attend virtual meetings, we will do our best to coordinate a conference call. District staff will do our best to coordinate all members of the team to be present. The district will also provide families with an electronic version of the proposed IEP within 5 school days of the virtual team meeting. It is important to note that due to COVID-19 school closure, the newly proposed IEP will not be fully implemented until school reopens. Prior to the school closure, there are several initial evaluations and re-evals to be completed. Unfortunately, due to social distancing requirements and school closure, these assessments cannot be completed at this time. For students who are due for re-evaluations, the team will convene virtually. A little bit about technology, if you will. The tech department distributed Chromebooks that were previously in classroom cots for students in grades 3, 4, and 5 and were not allowed to go home. Unfortunately, we aren't able to provide devices for K to 2, as I noted earlier. If any student in grades 3 to 12 has a problem with their school-issued Chromebook during the closure, please contact the tech department through Let's Talk on our district webpage, found on our district and school websites. We will respond as quickly as possible. To facilitate communication between students and teachers in grades 3 to 5, we have enabled school email in the upper elementary grades. Students in grades 3 through 12 now all have a district-supported email, and we ask that you provide all communication through that system. Teachers may conduct virtual face-to-face meetings with students. 2 tools that may be used are Google Meet and Zoom. Currently, we prefer to use Google Meet. There are many concerns regarding the use of video conferencing tools within our students. Please note that we have followed best practices, security guidelines for setting up the programs for Norton staff and students. I also wanted to talk a little bit about our support services, specifically food services, which started on March 16th, the Monday after we got out on that Friday. The district continues to provide breakfast and lunch for families in need, as well as senior citizens in the town of Norton and residents of the town of Norton, and students, including students that go to other schools, for example, Southeastern or Bristol Aggie, and wish to pick up their lunches. They can do so at this time, Monday through Thursday, between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. at the back of Norton High School. Just please follow the cones all the way to the back. In a few weeks, or in a few short days, we will be announcing a change to that schedule that will enhance even further meals and supports for families. Please take advantage of this and by participating. And also, if you have any further questions, either Let's Talk or directly to Matt Wells, School Business Administrator, at mwells@norton.k12.ma.us. If you'd like to be connected with guidance or adjustment counselors individual about an academic or personal matter, which we have already been handling, please email your counselor directly to set up a time to do so. Finally, counselors at all levels will be teaming up with teachers to help to ensure that social emotional learning is embedded in many of the remote learning activities and lessons. Norton Public Schools is working with other agencies as well to provide supports. Not only are we meeting with the town of Norton through Michael Units, the town manager's office, along with all of our colleagues on the other side of town to provide services to those in need. But MPS is also involved with providing you with all the different websites that are available to give you direct information about the COVID-19 restrictions. One of these restrictions that we've placed in Norton that has been controversial in the eyes of some is that we have decided on the 16th of March and repeatedly communicated that our schools grounds and schools were closed. The reason for this is simple. It's safety. It's only because of safety. And as this situation has worsened, our actual initial decision looks better and better every day. We know it's difficult because the high school track would be an easy place for people to walk around. But the fact is that having people congregate in one area is not a good idea. And secondly, we are providing our food services program from the high school. What available resources are there for mental health and well-being? Well, every number can be found on our website if it's available to you. Or again, emailing a counselor can also be done. But everyone from the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline to Call to Talk, Samara Teens, Compass Helpline, Parents Trust Hotline, and Parent Helping Parents are all available. A few high school topics. There are many questions taking place about grading, about AP tests, about MCAS requirements for graduation, and many such topics, including the prom and graduation. As I said earlier, grading will be communicated in the coming days as we have come to what we think is a fair approach. But our approach is guided in one principle. Our students will not be hurt in this process at any time. Second, AP tests are going to be online according to the College Board. More information to be provided. And as for MCAS, we are continuing to await the Commissioner's decision on what is going to happen for the MCAS test. Lastly, and as important on all of these topics, is the middle school and high school student schedules. Those for 2021 are already underway. We are beginning the process of making sure that we are ready for September, even though we are not yet closed for this school year. This is the time frame that we typically use. Our facilities, as I noted earlier, are completely closed, and for the next 2 weeks will completely be closed except for the food services that we are providing to all. We wish all of our Norton Public School families the best and safety. Our students, my students, the 2,500 students of Norton, nothing but safety, and our citizens the best. Thank you.